we're going to be covering 3 fundamental concepts that I teach to all my students before they ever play a note at the keyboard. If you can get a general handle on these 3 things, it's going to make everything you do after this point much simpler. So the 3 concepts are the function of the keyboard, technique in relationship to body awareness, and by far the most important, general attitude. The first thing we're going to cover is the function of the instrument, right? And how it relates to how we make the sound. So quite simply, you press a key and you make a noise. That is the piano, which is why it's such a great instrument to start with. There's very few entries to sound. If you're trying to play trumpet, you have to have what's called an embouchure to be able to play the note. If you're trying to play the flute, you have to have breath control and understand the fingering positions. Literally, piano is you touch the note makes a sound. The amount of force that you touch the note with dictates how loud or how soft you're going to be able to play, and pianists spend years and years trying to cultivate this fine motor control to be able to have the ultimate dynamic sound control. The second element of function that we need to know before playing the piano is that as we move our hands up to the right, the sound goes up, and as we move our hands to the left, the sound goes down. This is going to be important in how we produce pitch later. The second fundamental element you need to know before you ever play a note is just basic body awareness, right? There's so much nuance to technique and how to play the instrument, but before you do all that, how you sit is going to be a huge component to your future success. So the most basic things I want you to know: make sure you sit up straight. It's going to help you a lot, right? If you're playing for hours and your back is rounded, one, it's going to be really hard to just play in general, but also you're going to get some back pain, and nobody wants that. Secondly, how far to sit from the piano. If you sit too close, you cut off the range of motion that your hands have to move. They're not going to be able to move to the high end of the keyboard or to the low end of the keyboard. If your arms are straight, you're way too far away. Something about here. So to check, all you have to do is put your hand in front of your body. If your elbow can clear your torso, then you're at a perfect distance. The last thing I want to talk about is your attitude. It is the most important thing in determining how good you get at this.
Always with you what cannot be done. Hear you nothing that I say. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
I can't tell you how many students I've gotten from the very beginning haven't played a note, and they showed initial musicality and talent, but they were impatient in their learning process, and ultimately after maybe a year, maybe 2, they decided to stop playing the instrument, right? Now conversely, I've had students that the initial learning stages were really difficult. It was hard for them to figure out how to hold their hands. It was hard for them to keep a steady beat, just basic rhythm, but they stuck with it. They appreciated the small successes that they made along the way, and now they're able to actually play the instrument.
Don't think. Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
So you will ultimately determine what you get from it. If you can learn to appreciate your strides in technique and ability over, well, so-and-so is better than me, well, I can't play this song, I'm never going to be able to do this, That's what's really going to make the difference in your musical journey.